Good evening. Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Now, during the stream, I want to talk about a few issues. I'm going to start off with talking about the GMOs. GMOs are and what's going on, Men's Daily? Shout out to you, brother. Then we're going to get into some post Father's Day material because one thing that is never mentioned when it comes to Father's Day, Father's Day is meant for fathers. It's not meant for a single mother who believes she's doing both roles. In fact, there have been positive songs out about the mamas. Even though you're a dope fiend, you're still a black queen by Tupac. I always loved my mama. But when it comes to dad, I'm just giving you some songs I've heard. There's always something negative, like Papa was a rolling stone. Negative songs about dads. Nothing positive. Now, the only person who had a positive song is the late Luther Vandross when he talked about dancing with my father. Now, I always believe this: a father is very important. But you have a number of the feminazis out here who still don't believe fathers aren't important. And this is why a number of children are the way they are today. Now, I'm going to say this as well, because this is not demeaning single mothers or even single dads. Shout out to Brother Nate. He was a divorced dad. Brother Nate, you were never a single dad. Stop calling yourself a single dad. You are a divorced dad. You never had a child out of wedlock. Don't stoop that low, brother. You're too smart for that, my brother. Shout out to you. You did a good job with your son. You were a divorced dad. There is a difference. You decided to make that commitment. You didn't go and just meet somebody at the club and she spread them and you went in and just shot her up with some of your white baby making juice. No, you did the right thing. Shout out to Men's Daily Advice. He's also a dad. And one thing that has really messed this month of June up is, and I've done videos, and there are other people who have followed behind me with the Pride Month videos. Well, Father's Day and Pride Month, and of course, Black Music Month. I say Black Music Month is every day if you listen to black music, or I call it R&B. Now, this R&B out here is garbage. Now, they do have some out here that's vibing. Now, also, some of the negative songs too. Just don't depict dads and moms. I remember the 90s. The men sang songs and they were really begging. Keith Sweat. And I like Keith Sweat, but Keith Sweat is a big beggar. But then you had other songs like Fine that came out in 2000 by Whitney Houston. You also had a connotation, shout out to Ringo for bringing this up, when Biggie Small. He said, I'm going to send my daughter to college so she doesn't need no man. Well, when you hear stuff like that coming from a man's mouth, that means that man, and I'm not going to pee on Biggie's grave, but he was also raised by a single mother. And I'm bringing this to fruition because there are a number of men out here who are just plain soft. They don't know how to deal with other men. They react so emotionally. Brother Men's Daily says there are also several TV sitcoms that always make the father look like idiots for several years, but yet he's really the genius at the end of the show. One of them is called The King of Queens. And another one is Modern Family, where the woman is a domineering mother. She went to college and she was a real estate agent, but she doesn't have a job. He makes all the money, but yet she's still dominating the family. And you have some individuals who couldn't relate to the Cosby Show, where you had Felicia Rashad, she was a lawyer. Bill Cosby, he was a doctor, and he had a huge family, and they all lived at home. That's right, Lenny Williams, he did one as well. Shout out to Distro 0861. That is correct. Now, there have been a couple of reality shows on that I do watch from time to time on TLC, and they are basically involving moms. Now, the newest one, and I'll see if I can share some clips from the new show that just came out, I Want a Mama's Boy. Now, earlier, I actually showed some clips from a reality show called Smothered. Now, what Smothered was about was a sister daughter relationship where the mother and sister, at one point, they were competing for the same men. And, the men who were married to the mother's daughter, because there was one where she was an Italian mother from Chicago. She wanted her daughter to live right across the street from her so she could pry in their business all the time. That is a big problem when it comes to mother daughter relationships. They're going out shopping. Instead of basically taking care of home, you still want to run around and be a sister daughter. And I'm surprised that some of these men on Smothered stayed around. And some of these men were doctors, and doctors a good profession. But you have some of these individuals out here who are mothers. They forget what their role was. Shout out to Men's Daily. Don't forget Family Guy and Symptoms. That's correct. What's going on, brother Rotano? Welcome to the 401 Talk Zone radio show. So, what I'm putting out here today is something that is happening for real. And I always keep tabs on a number of these shows. There's a show out there called Little People, Big World. Shout out to Free Zone Lose. Salute. Get over there to Free Zone Lose channel and get over there to Men's Daily Advice and Encouragement channel as well. Both of you have wrenches, so spam your channels in the chat. I've already spammed mine earlier, and I want everybody to like, share, and subscribe. Donate if you want. Here's the banner. If you want the Cash App, I'm not asking. Donate if you wish. There it is. The ticker is going across the screen. If you wish. My main issue here is I need subscribers. Get me to 2,100. I'm 3 subscribers short. I didn't even believe I was going to make it to 2,000 after being on YouTube for a good 6.5 years. And thank you to all those people who have subscribed. Now, back to the lesson in hand. If you're just joining me, what I'm talking about is, and shout out to Cool Kamasi in the building. I'm talking about some of the sad songs that men and fathers get, and some of the good songs that mothers and, of course, women get. Now, of course, when it comes to music, music has always patronized the woman. It is true. And a lot of us, when we listen to music, we don't listen to the words, we listen to the beat. You look at a song out there called Scrubs by TLC that came out in 1998. Now, there was another follow-up, and nobody really remembers this song, but I remember that. I believe the name of that group, was it the 40 Thieves? They came up with the reprise of that song called um, Chicken Heads and Pigeons. People forgot about that song. I remember when that song came out, but everybody liked the song called Scrubs by TLC. Shout out to Mrs. Snowman. Hey, 411, hey, 411, and everyone else. Dads have gotten the short end of the stick for way too long. Absolutely right, sister. And we're going to talk about that tonight. Salute, Brother Survival. Welcome to the chat. I did drop the link earlier. Welcome to the chat. And so let me drop it again if you would like to come up. Now, first, let me get to my poll because something else I want to talk about. I got 12 votes already. And what I want to talk about after I deal with this mom and dad issue, talk about fat free foods because are we eating real food or are we eating GMO? A GMO is an engineered food. Now, fat free. Have you seen labels that said fat free? Well, fat free food's really healthy. So far, I have 12 votes, 17 yes, 83 no. And that's a big number there. Again, salute to survival. Don't forget the honeymooners and home improvement shows. Yeah, Tim Allen. That's right. Yeah, they make every dad look like he's a buffoon. Modern Family. Shout out to Guy King, known as Sigma American Arcana. It's better to cater to women when money is the goal. The music industry cares about the money. Facts. And you know, you got some YouTubers also who care about the money, Brother Guy King. And they support more women's channels than they support guys' channels. Shout out to Cyber Toxin in the house. Again, I just dropped the link. Um, if you want to come up, I I encourage good discussion because my audience and I'm tired as heck after being out in this 93-degree heat. But I made sure I came in to welcome my audience like I do every Wednesday. Married with Children. That's right. Ed O'Neill. I used to watch Married with Children. That was a good show. The funny thing about that Men's Daily, Ed O'Neill, who started on Married with Children, also started on A Modern Family. He was in that show, the old Caucasian guy married to a Spanish woman. Modern Family. Modern Family featured the two gay guys with a child. It had the it was supposed to be an intact family, but here's something with that. The mother was the domineering one. She didn't do any work. The father did the work, but she had all the control. The kids were very disrespectful and mouthy to their father. Let's beat up on your father. I remember hearing some of those episodes. Now, if a child said, or if a dad told the children, let's beat up on your mother, that show would be canceled. See, there's a lot of hypocrisy going on when it comes to even family shows. Like I said, I grew up in the 80s where we had the Cosby Show. Now, some people might not be able to relate to the Cosby Show. And also in the early 90s, The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Now, there has been a second version of Bel Air, which I don't like. They make the father, they make Carlton in the second Bel Air, they made him a coke addict. Wasn't the same type of Carlton. And the father, the mother, they have money, but they look like they come from a criminal element. Now, some agree with that element, some don't. But the new Bel Air, no, I don't care about it. I will not watch it. I saw a few episodes and I had to go. Now, there's another one that comes on too where it's called Little People Big World. It's also on TLC where You had an ex-wife who's still involved with her grown kids, and of course her ex-husband who has a girlfriend. They live on a roll farm in Oregon, and there was a guy named Chris who never had any kids. Well, I just believe Chris is trying to hold his tongue so he can go along and get along with Amy, who was married again, and she had kids. And in that show, there are times where Chris and Amy don't get any time together, and they just got married. Shout out to Brother Guy King. A class of men have created this current situation that bashes men and discourages masculinity. It is these men who are at fault. It is these men who must be held accountable. Facts. And I've said that a long time ago when I was on Brother Guy King's panel. A lot of guys have brought themselves to this situation, and now they are really finding out what they thought was going to happen, where they were going to get the women on their side. No, it hasn't happened. Because guess what? A number of these women don't care about you either. And as me and Brother Guy King talked about back in 2017 and 2018, a lot of these powerful men, they use women as a buffer. And when I mean a buffer, those women are a wall to protect the powerful guys, the elite guys. And some of these elite guys are simps themselves. And some of these so-called elite guys like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg, they think they know what's going on more than you do. Shout out to Brother Guy King. Who do you think owns the record companies? Who publishes songs against men? Some of these simp guys do. It's not blacks who own the record companies either. In fact, the only black that I know, of course, um, you had Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Death Row Records. Was that owned by a black? No, I believe that was owned by some Jewish people. The only black company that I know that was owned by somebody was Barry Gordy, who owned Motown, Get Down Detroit, 313. Men's Daily. What's crazy? They make a lot of money making men look like idiots or losers. Don't forget Tyler Perry's movies, The Color Purple. They also made millions of men look like idiots and morons. Now, me and Guy King, and of course, Tommy Jean, we saw this one Tyler Perry movie, Brother Men's Daily, that nobody talks about. It's called Acrimony. It came out in 2017. Now, the funny thing about Acrimony was, and you talk about red pill, Acrimony was red pill. I forgot her name. Taraji Henson. She played the woman. Now you know what that woman did? She listened to her sisters. Well, her husband was producing a battery. Finally got paid big money for the battery, but it was her sisters, and of course, she had a black woman who was a lawyer, and she got the divorce. But later on, she found out that her ex-husband got $75 million for his invention, and he also got the girl that he actually met when he really smashed into her. Well, she smashed into the trailer where he was with the girl. I believe the girl's name was Diane when they were young, and he ended up marrying Diane after Taraji Henson, who played his ex-wife in the movie Acrimony, divorced him. That's right, Deep Red Castle. Now, in that movie, what was so funny about that, when they went to court, he actually gave his ex-wife $10 million. And the judge said, you didn't have to do that. You should be happy you got that money. She wasn't satisfied because she believed in her right mind that, oh, I was with him going through the struggle while you were getting on with your invention, but yet you also allowed your sisters, Brenda, and there was another one, to interfere with your relationship, and you ended up getting a divorce, but you still got $10 million. But the problem with Taraji Henson playing the ex-wife, then she was also looking at a psychiatrist, and you know how some women are; they don't want to take any accountability for what they did wrong. Again, shout out to the chat. Acrimony was one Tyler Perry movie that nobody even talks about. The movie Acrimony was a terrific movie. That movie and Daddy's Little Girls are the only two movies that were dedicated to men, but the other 98% of his movies made looks like abusive fools. That is a fact. And you don't hear about Daddy's Little Girls. That's right. You don't hear about them. Good evening, Jenny V. Welcome to the chat. Hope all are good. Hope you're good. And thank you for coming to the chat. But what I'm getting to is we live here in America where everything about a man is bad, but everything about a woman is good. Now, again, this is not putting women down, because if you think about it, men have allowed it. I can remember a Huggies commercial a long time ago, back in 2012 and 2013. Well, the women left and the guys had to change diapers. Well, that commercial made every guy look like he was incompetent when it came to changing diapers. So, what a number of us men did, and I did this as well, we actually wrote to the company and they took that commercial off the air. That's the only time where men actually did something. See, the problem with men, we could eliminate a lot of this if we would stop simping and actually get down to business. And it's not even about race anymore. I know people, oh, it's race. No, we talk about that too much. And shout out to Minister Jap and others. The real enemy out here is there are two things: simp men and feminism. They go hand in hand. And also the alphabet community plays a part in that, because those three together, the three-headed monster, they don't want to deal with any type of patriarchy. Too often, men are sellouts. Facts, men are, especially here on YouTube. You have some of them, they sold their souls so they can get money, and they water down their content so they could basically capitulate to women. I always say this: it took men, particularly black men, and shout out to Dr. Tiasan Johnson. It took men a long time to get a voice. And guess what? We still are spoiling a chance because we are allowing things to happen. Shout out to Angels Don't Fall. The color purple equals Oprah, which equals Harpo, which equals witchcraft. Oprah is a high level witch, and so is Madonna. Madonna had a song in the 80s called Papa Don't Preach. And I believe there was another version of Color Purple coming out, Waiting to Exhale. These are all movies that depicted men as low down scum. Shout out to Brother Nate in the building. Mental Illness Month. Brother Nate streamed. Shout out to his channel. Sorry about that you got a strike on your channel for that. That was good information you were presenting. Shout out to Jenny V. It's now against broadcasting rules now in the UK to show men as idiots or stupid. They showed a commercial where two men were busy doing stuff that they forgot the baby. It got taken down. You know, there was a commercial like that here in the United States. I believe it was a chicken commercial where the man actually forgot his baby as well. I don't know if they took that down. See, America is becoming a country of deception. Shout out to Laughing Dog Total destruction of the natural order. Only humans could be dumb and arrogant enough to do that. Well, a lot of them are because they have an agenda. And the agenda is basically utilize the delusions by ridding this westernized world of men. They do that, Western civilization dies because it's men who create everything. Women have gotten themselves comfortable in what men have created. And shout out to Brother Nate on his channel. He said men, they just can't have anything these days. No, they can't because some men don't want anything. Some men don't even want to do the work. Shout out to Brad Cooper there. A lot of dudes who would sell their souls to get on with success. Facts. Again, this is a show that's not dedicated to putting down women, but I am looking at what makes money out here. Beating down men is what makes money. Angels don't fall says race is a tactical weapon used to cause chaos, murder, segregation, separating men from God. That's right. Shout out to Mrs. Snowman. At least the UK is doing something. And also Russia and China. They want to bring masculinity back. In fact, as you know, with the army commercials, Russia and China had masculine commercials where America had a commercial that featured a woman that's upholding two moms. Now, again, we saw enough of the BS when we dealt with the hijack of Father's Day, where mothers who already had their day, and do you know March, although it's Women's Month, it's also Single Parents Month. A lot of people didn't know that, but it is. Now, June, again, you have Pride Month and Father's Day in the same month. And I didn't even know there was a Pride Month until this year in 2022. And again, it just seems like men can't get anything for themselves. And the reason why, and I have to call this out, men, because a number of you men are trying to side with the women at all. I remember when Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson were marching with the National Organization for Women. For what? Bill Cosby, believe it or not, has been ordered to pay $500,000 for losing a alleged sexual abuse case. $500,000 he had to pay. This is what they're doing to men. You have people like Gloria Allred. You have a lot of misandrous women out there who can't appreciate anything. And these women are the ones who are basically, and these aren't black women, these are white women as well. Just like Nate says, the the pasty, the pasty face. I'm just going to use that one. The feminists. These are the ones who are destroying men. You see it in colleges. You see it in religion. You see it in the media. Men, for some reason, they're afraid. And I'm not going to talk about her, but I've seen a lot of Kendra G stuff. A lot of delusional women on Kendra G's channel. Shout out to Angels Don't Fall. I used to disagree with all the accusations against me that I'm a racist, and now I actually agree with them. I am a racist against racism. That's a good parallel. But going back to Kendra G's channel, I know some people have been checking that out. Now, this is not a show that is going to be talking about Kendra G, but what I'm going to do is use some of her content to actually plug in to the delusions I see with a number of women. Now, of course, she has mainly black women on her show, and some of those women on her show believe that they're born again virgins. So they're telling the new man they have to wait, but yet she had 5 kids with another man. Those other men got everything free. And some of these women go back and say, well, we didn't know anything. Well, you should have known about the birds and the bees that do the wrong things in the trees when you don't have any money to take care of children. But you're going to call yourself a reborn again virgin and you think a man is going to invest his time into you? Absolutely not. That's delusion. Shout out to men's daily again. Remember, it was okay. The View publicly talked bad about men when my boy Tom Likas and Kevin Samuels came out. It was a problem. Remember, in general, women are allergic to taking accountability. Also, a lot of women are socialist in nature. The society caters to them, they get more of the government benefits. Let's just be honest. This is why they also vote for big government. And Goofy, shout out to brother Nate, Negro males trying to holler at her, simps are gross. And, even Steve Harvey, you know, he couldn't keep it in his pants. And these guys, Derek Jackson, everybody knows about Derek Jackson. What comes up must come down, right? Spinning wheel like Blood, Sweat, and Tears sang back in 1969. Well, you think you're on a woman's side? Oh, yeah, they'll let you in. But when it's time to kick you out, they're going to kick you out because you're a man. A number of them are misandrous. Jenny V, if some of these women had a single brain cell, it would be lonely. Yeah, common sense is gone. In fact, to really show you something, shout out to Devin. That was 1969. That is correct. Thank you for the correction. Again, shout out to brother Nate. Get on over to his channel. Get on over to the Free Zone Lose channel. Now, again, I want everybody to get the likes up. You can donate if you wish. Get me some more subscribers. Get me over the 2,100 mark. And I'd like to see if you can do it tonight. And before I finish this, let me go to the poll because this poll is about food. I have 18 votes so far. Are fat-free foods healthy? 11% said yes. 89% said no. And let's get the likes up. Get me some more subscribers. Again, if anybody's not familiar with my channel, this is a different kind of brand over here. This is not entertaining to some individuals. It may be boring. I enjoy doing this type of content because this type of content makes you think. Shout out again to Devin. But going back, men, we have issues here. Now, I can tell you, even on Black YouTube, we have a number of men who have some good content out. Yeah, everybody doesn't have the glorious microphones. I don't. But I still keep up with what's going on with current events. I mean, and shout out to Angry Snowman. I was on his platform on, I believe it was on Monday. Yes, it was on Monday. And we talked about the child support system. And I'm going to say this, guys. I already know the child support system is not fair. I was one of those guys, and Brother Nate has talked about it too. I had to pay child support. And things that happened to me, like filing for bankruptcy, getting my income tax checks garnished. But here's how I got through that. Time. Time is everything. Yeah, I had one mother that would always curse me out. She's passed on now, so I'm not going to get into that. But time. I know the system is bad. And we may talk about the child support system on my open panel set. Shout out to Angels Don't Fall. I came from the same man that everyone else came from, just like you. Unless you're one of the ones that came from a lizardfish or an ape or something, or out of thin air, I bleed red blood. And Angels Don't Fall had to file bankruptcy at 25 years old. Well, it's funny, Angels Don't Fall, because I was 32 when I did it. And the problem with bankruptcy, child support couldn't be applied to bankruptcy, but it was on your credit report. And as we know, the family court system with child support is really not a government agency, it's a collection agency. See, it took me a long time to find this out. So I'm passing it on to brothers that we have to learn how to navigate ourselves through the system. And you may have to be red pill. Now, if you go black pill, now, black pill means different things to people. Now, there's some people who just really go down in that dark rabbit hole or black pill. But generally, if you know nothing's going to change, you've gone dark. Or if you don't care for it to change. And most men, in my humble opinion, they're really afraid to go down that rabbit hole because they want to go along to get along. They may talk red pill, but they're not red pill. Again, we have so much music out that makes men like losers. Going back to Scrubs. I still hear that song today. Devin says, I feel dark today. Sometimes you may feel dark. Angels Don't Fall says, lucky I shoot blanks. It's from living next to base 29 Psalms, Aaron Brockovich, water, but maybe worse. Well, again, you have to bring all this to the table because we just got finished dealing with Father's Day. And I'm going to tell you something. Yeah, I got some good Father's Day gifts. However, none of my kids called me on Father's Day. But that's okay. Had somebody I shared Father's Day with, had some smacking ribs and some cornbread, and I was satisfied. You can't even make your own family as a father because the females in that family who have gone through bad men themselves, they lay that cancer out on the other female members of the family. When it comes to men, all men aren't players. All men aren't stalkers. All men aren't sitting in prison. And black men, we heard that in the 90s. Well, all you black men are in jail. 50% of you black men are in jail. Oh, that time it was 12%. So you mean half the black male population was in jail? I don't know where they got that number from because that certainly was not true. Devin says, I had a friend stationed at 29 Palms. He doesn't have kids of his own. Well, again, I'm just telling men out there, protect yourself. Now, my generation, Gen X, half of us failed, half of us still believe in this information. The baby boomers, most of them failed. You run right into some baby boomers, particularly if you're black, everything's going to be about the black woman's God. And any man who believes that, he's insane. I will not call another person God. It's only one God. Free Zone said, I was stationed at 29 Palms as a kid. Good times. Now, you guys have to tell me what 29 Palms is. Is it a military base? I know Free Zone was in the Air Force. I know he was down in Texas for boot camp, like Lackland Air Force Base. So give me an idea what 29 Palms is so I know, so I can connect it to the conversation. Angels don't fall. I raised other people's kids. They turned out good, but I'm not in their lives because of their mothers being promiscuous and unfaithful. Let me tell you something. Thank you, Laughing Dog. It's a USMC based, just like Camp Lejeune in Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you, Devin. It's the Marines. Thank you. I want to say this: raising somebody else's kids, whether you're a grandmother, a stepmother, a stepfather, raising kids that aren't yours is a thankless job. The kids don't respect you. Heck, you even have the daughters of the mothers who don't even respect their mothers because they believe their mothers should be taking care of the kids free. They don't want to pay their mothers any money. They, I remember a show. It was a Tyler Perry movie, The Family That Prays, with Kathy Bates. Sanaa Lathan was in that movie. She told her mother, "You should be taking care of my kid for free." BS. Raising somebody else's kids is a thankless job. I would not advise it. And again, if you go look at some of the old KS's videos and you go look at some of Kendra G's videos, you have a number of women, many of them African American, who have children. And they think they're going to get a brand new slate after they've had 3, 4, 5 kids by different fathers. And then also the men, too. A number of the men are delusional. You think a woman is going to date you? Because I saw this one on her show yesterday. He had teardrops on his eyes. I mean, a teardrop when you're in the gangs, made you kill somebody. And some of these men were in prison. They're going to expect to find a decent woman while you serving time in prison for putting somebody down. Now, if it was worth it for defending yourself, that's one thing. But if you're arbitrarily just waving a piece of steel in somebody's face and you use it on somebody, well, your freedom is basically over. Shout out to Mr. Snowman. My stepkids respected me for a while until their mother started putting thoughts and ideas into their heads. Both me and me and Angry Snowman, it all went down. It generally does. And see, a lot of times, here's what happens, Mr. Snowman. The mother is not stable, but you're stable. She doesn't want those kids in a stable environment. Because once they're in a stable environment, guess what? Those kids aren't going to want to go back to the unstable environment. Therefore, she can't control the situation. Shout out to Free Zone Lou. It's a straight desert. Had a good time on the mountains. You definitely got to find stuff to do. And tattoos all over loved ones' faces are not attractive. That's a fact. Again, I've seen some of these guys on that show. They, for the most part, are looking for a good woman, but I look at the shape they're in. A number of them were they were derelicts. Shout out to brother Big Nate. Nate Dog 74, get over to his channel. Go for custody. Nate did. He tell you how to do it too. He did. Mrs. Snowman, she hated that they were stable and happy at our house, and it was jealousy as well. Again, anybody that wants to come up, I dropped the link. I'd rather like face tattoos, but I'm married already. Face tattoos are tacky. In fact, you see the different color hair out here, the earrings, the nose rings. I've seen individuals with tattoos on their hands. That's rebellion. That looks dirty. Now, if you have some small ones that represent something, okay, and they're hidden, that's one thing. Prepping food, Nate. You're going to tell me what you're cooking, brother, because we seem to be talking about good food up here. We're going to get into some food tonight, too, believe it or not, while you're cooking. But on this topic, I'm just going to tell you this. Fathers are important. But it's we men who allowed it to get out of hand because we never challenged it. We thought nothing of it. But in the long run, you see what's going on now. Many of us men, we have to be responsible for our actions as well. Women are going to take what they're given, and a number of them love the government. They love the government in I call it the 5 power conferences of society. If you don't know what they are, I'll give them to you right now. There's always the education, government, private sector jobs, media, and education. That's where you have all the deluded people. The grifters are in those fields. I just cooked the dog some homemade food. Make sure you don't give that dog chocolate, though. But in the end, everything's up to us guys. Remember something. I don't care about what the feminists said. It's the men who built this world. Men are the ones who have come up with the ideas. Again, my poll, are fat foods healthy? I want you all to get the likes up for me. 19 votes so far, 11 yes, 89% said no. So we're still sitting at a trend where a number of people believe that fat-free foods are unhealthy. Believe it or not. There's a lot of chemical that goes into food. Hey, Celine, shout out to you. Good evening. But in the long run, we have to look at the situation here in 2022 when it comes to the families. I see that a lot of families are overrated anyway. You have families that, again, have kids, grown kids living at home. Now, what I'm going to do, let me see if I can share it with you all. We'll get into a clip right now, fair use. Let me actually go back and put the banner at the bottom. Let's see if I can play this video. I'm going to talk about I love a mama's boy. Just bear with me as I share the screen, get some clips. I'm only using one monitor. All right. Here we go. I'm going to show you a clip. Hold on one moment.
We've been collaborating for a long time. We get together, we're...
Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. I believe it is 5 o'clock on
Shout
the East
out,
Coast.
can you all hear it?
My mom and I are still working at home because of the lockdown. And Kim's a little disappointed. She feels like I've been taking my mom's side with a lot of things.
I love a mama's boy.
I got to show her that she's number one. So when Kim and I spoke last, she was discouraged.
Fair use.
So I don't think that we should really wait to do the engagement.
I don't know. Who am I going to have sleepy time tea with?
Well, I mean, we can still do those things. It's not like you're going to get replaced or left out to pasture.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready, to be honest.
So I feel like that was a little harsh to say.
I don't know. I feel like this is my decision too.
Fair use.
Well, that's why we're talking about this.
I'm letting somebody take you.
I feel like you shouldn't look at it like that. I mean...
All right. I know this is what my son wants. So sometimes I have to bite my tongue. I have an inner struggle with letting him go. But I know I have to. So how is this proposal going to go? Do you know what to say? How about if I pretend to be Kim? We can role play.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh my God, you're going to stand up. Okay.
Yes. Here, I got an idea. Here. Put this. It can be in your pocket.
Oh, okay.
Don't lose it.
Okay. Do you think I should like talk and then kneel, or kneel and then talk? What do you think?
I think you should talk. Say, Kim, there's something I've been meaning to talk to you about. Look at her real serious leg.
That looks like a fight, Lily.
Or you could just take her by the hand and say, my love, I need to ask you a question. And then get on your knees and prepare to be there the rest of your life, baby.
Okay.
In the chat,
So-
can you hear? Can you all hear?
My life wouldn't be complete without you.
Thank you.
And I want to spend every moment of every day with you. And I want to have a family with you. Literally, the moment I got on my knee and looked up, it was like I knew what I wanted to say. My mom like helped me figure out like the words I wanted to say. And for that, I'm like so grateful. But once it comes time to actual proposal, it's going to be harder because with Kim, I want it to be like beautiful. I want it to be like delicate. I want every word like articulately put so that it is just everything she wants to hear and more. I would love it if you would do me the honor of marrying me.
Yes!
Would you expect to be a part of the proposal?
I'm assuming that I'm going to be part of the proposal since Matt came to me and asked me for my advice. I'm a part of everything in his life. So why wouldn't I be asked?
Matt used to do these romantic surprises for me when we first started dating. And this is exactly what I've been wanting. Matt is finally taking initiative. He's leaving his mom at home, and I can't wait to see what he has in store for us.
I'm just grateful for anything. We could go to a Motel 6 right now, and I'd be very happy to just be with you and Louie.
Kim thinks we're just going to go away for a standard regular weekend away, but what she doesn't know is this is going to be a huge day for me and Kim. I'm going to go ahead and propose. You like
We're
it?
staying here? Yes, of course I love it. You did so good. Oh my God, look at that view. Oh, babe, the roses. Thank you. Look at this pool. Oh my
It's an
God.
infinity pool, like wraps around the whole thing.
We are going to be swimming in this all weekend long.
So we have 2 trails of roses.
Love
So we have
it.
2 stops. I know how you
Aw.
like this stuff.
I love it.
So
The
we could go to the
juicier, better.
first one.
This is
Here,
so
this
romantic of you.
is yours.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. This is a huge day for me. I'm proposing to the girl of my dreams, and I feel like proposing without my mom there is the way it should be. It makes me feel like I am growing up a little bit, and it makes me feel like she'll one day understand that this was something I had to do for me and Kim.
And what's over here?
And the second one comes over to here.
I love this. You know, I love stuff like
I
this.
know you like these little like mazes and things.
I love when things are planned out.
Well, it's the second stop tonight, but hopefully a new chapter. Kim, this was so much easier when I was practicing this with my mom. I practiced this over and over, and now that it's here, my mind is blank. Kim, here I am proposing to Kim, and I'm getting tongue-tied. Her response is going to change
Fair
our lives
use.
one way or another forever. Kim, I love you. You're the most important thing in my life. You are number one, and I want you to be number one. Kim, I don't want to spend a day without you. I want to grow old with you. I want to have a family with you. I want to have adventures with you. not only are you the girl of my dreams, you're the person I want to be with for the rest of my life. And I feel like the only way for us to start all of that would be.
Oh my God. Oh, it's blue. Oh my God.
What's that?
Kim,
All right. Can you all read it? I had to take it down. They suspended the stream here. I'm gonna probably have to start it right back up for copyright. I'm not monetized. Thank you. I put it down there. Thank you. I'm not monetized at all. All right. Let me go back to YouTube. Thank you very much. All right. My stream is still up. Hold on one moment. All right. All right. All right. Can you all hear me? Damn, they just got me. What? Yeah, they just took my stream down. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and start it right back up.